All right. I'm going to be discussing capitalism and I guess insurance, or are disabled children a argument against capitalism, or is it just the question of how does insurance work in capitalism? I don't know. But before I get into that, and a video that you see featured here where this question was asked, I'm going to play a little clip for you that it reminded me of.
Miss. Madam, I can assure you that this menu has been specially devised for the difficult, so that means Jews and hippies.
Well, I'm neither, so could I have a chocolate mousse, please?
Please don't raise your voice with me, madam.
I'm not raising my voice.
Madam, please.
I'm not, though.
There is no need to use that tone with us.
What tone?
Madam, please, this child is disabled and he's frightened. Madam, please, think of the spina bifida. Don't be so selfish.
Stop. Think disabled child. The disabled child has nothing to do with this, okay? And he's not even disabled.
All right. Anyway, so that was from a show. I think it's Air Afrikaans, it's called, but that it reminded me of. I want to play you this clip now, and then we'll see the question, and I think we'll get Yaron's answer, and then I'm going to give you my own response. So here's the video clip.
Based on the value they create.
But how do you define deserve? I mean, suppose you're born with special educational needs and it's very difficult for you to hold down a normal job. Do you just deserve to be poor because, you know, something was a little bit wrong with your brain when you were born? In what sense do you deserve that?
So let's flip that around. What makes it, because you were born that way, what gives you a claim against what I produce? What gives you a claim about my effort and my values? That is, I might help you because I care for you and I care about human beings, but what gives you a claim against me and the right to use violence against me in order to fulfill that claim?
I never suggested violence.
Well, taxes. What is redistribution of wealth? There's not taxes, violence against some for the benefit of others.
It's not violence.
Get your...
All right.
The right to use...
All right, so the discussion was about basically fairness, and Yaron talks about how fairness is getting what you deserve, not everyone getting the same thing. And then she brings up, well, what about someone, being born a disabled child, mental disability or something? Does he deserve that? And also the consequences of that is probably not going to be the most, economically successful person in a market. So, and I guess that's an objection to capitalism somehow. The whole question seems rather, I hesitant to say obnoxious. I don't know, but I don't know if it's how honest the question really is. If I was there, I could ask for clarification. Well, what do you mean? What is the actual problem you're asking? Are you asking about insurance? Or are you just saying, well, because occasionally someone will be born mentally disabled, therefore capitalism doesn't work or something? And exactly, I don't understand, where do you see the incompatibility there? Or the idea that you should get what you deserve is not true because the disabled child doesn't deserve to be poor, right? Because they didn't deserve to be born disabled. The issue is the way you're born is the way you're born. No one deserves to be born. It's not that you deserve or don't deserve the way you're born. It is what it is. That's just your starting point. What you deserve is then the choices you make after that. But as far as just, if she's just asking, what about that problem, and just asking, how do you deal with it? Well, the obvious answer is that there should be a very robust insurance system to protect against those kind of things. So on the rare occasion somebody is just born mentally disabled, well, they'll never be able to take care of themselves. I mean, that it happens, but you don't design an entire society as the standard and then make that the base case scenario. That would be that. It just seems so ludicrous that would be disingenuous if that's the question. That's why if I was there, I would ask, rather than responding immediately, well, that's violence, and jumping to the conclusion that that's what she's proposing, which I think she probably is. I don't think she's proposing a GoFundMe campaign. And then she tries to deny it. But I think she's using the disabled child scenario a bit dishonestly. But, I don't know. Maybe, it's hard for her to understand how the principle of individual rights applies to a scenario like a disabled child. But you can apply individual rights to every scenario. It's going to play out differently, but it can be applied to every scenario, including bad scenarios like a child that's born disabled, mentally disabled. And I would imagine, just like the parents have a responsibility to feed and clothe the children, you might say, well, what if the parents are, there's some parents out there just rotten. Therefore, what? Therefore, don't have children ever? Like, no one should ever have children? Like, it doesn't make any sense. That would be like the same argument, if that's your argument against capitalism. What we do is we have child protective services. So if you don't take care of your children, the government steps in. That's capitalism. That's capitalism. Capitalism is unlocking the power of the human mind by having a government that has one purpose, and that's to protect individual rights. And that's where child protective services comes in there. Well, if it's determined through deep analysis and thinking about it that a parent is being negligent by not buying this super, super cheap for super, super rare, extremely catastrophic scenarios like the mentally disabled child that would never be able to take care of himself, then that would also be a requirement. And it would be very clear in law, and it would all be organized. And, if these things are so catastrophic and fundamental, all of this would be integrated into a system, and that would be taken care of. And if it's so rare like that, it would be cheaper than your food and shelter. Or if you couldn't afford it, then there would be a charity set up to help you just pay for the insurance or whatever. I mean, there would be many, many things in place to make sure that this happens. So it would be extremely hard this wouldn't fall through, so you wouldn't fall through the cracks or whatever. So, I don't know what the question is or I would ask if I was there, but yes, individual rights is perfectly compatible with rare scenarios of children that are born mentally disabled. And I don't like it when people kind of, I don't know. I'll try to give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe we'll ask her someday. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.